Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokémon Insurgence. I hope everybody is staying happy, healthy, and safe. On the last part, we did quite a bit since we left Vipek City. We did stop off at the Samsara Cave, and we found ourselves a Delta Pidgey. We also made our way to Coral Town, and in Coral Town, we actually joined the Scientist Club and did a short little mission for them. Also, we can now say that we're with the Scientist Club. From there, we left and headed into the Reside Desert, and we encountered Sky Cultist, or rather, we watched Sky Cultist murder a small family. After that, we battled Damien and told him what we saw, before heading here into Rogan Town. So from here, we should be heading on into Helios City, which is beyond here. However, I actually have a minor correction that I have to make, which is going to actually be up here at the game corner of Rogan Town. So aside from random training card games that I don't know how to play yet, here in the Rogan Town game corner, you can actually buy Pokemon at this lady. Her name is Allison, apparently. So if you want to... No, I don't want to buy anything off you right now. But if you want to buy Pokemon off her, she is here. But interestingly enough, the Pokemon that she offers depends on the day. So, for instance, if it is Sunday, you could buy an Abra, an Eevee, a Gumi, a Heracross, or a Porygon. If it is Monday, you could buy an Abra, a Chikorita, a Gumi, a Pinsir, or a Porygon. If it is Tuesday, you could buy a Solissus, a Mareep, a Gumi, a Scyther, and a Porygon. If it's Wednesday, you could buy an Abra, a Smoochum, a Bagon, a Pinsir, or a Porygon. If it's Thursday, you could buy a Solissus, a Clefairy, a Bagon, a Scyther, and a Porygon. If it's Friday, you could buy an Abra, a Starly, a Gumi, a Pinsir, or a Porygon. And finally, if it is Saturday, you could buy a Solissus, an Eevee, a Bagon, a Heracross, or a Porygon. So I just had to cover it. Well, there's a lot of Pokemon that are on different days. For instance, you could get, say, the Eevee on Saturday, and I think you could also get the Eevee on Sunday. They do differ day by day, and I kind of messed up on that. So anyways, I already showed off all of Rogan Town. There's not much we can do here, so we're going to be heading out here into Route 6. Here on Route 6, I actually took care of all the trainers earlier. However, we can still grab a few items. So over here is going to be a very visible Ultra Ball. However, over here on this tree is going to be a Max Elixir. So that's actually pretty nice. Over here on this tree is actually going to be a Leopard Berry. The Leopard Berry is kind of cool because we will be getting the Recycle TM very, very shortly. You're going to want to remember this area in general right over here for something a little bit later. But for now, we can find a Max Repel right down here, and we can also surf all the way up here to find a Revive. And that's mostly it for this area. However, if we come on over here, with this patch of grass, surf over this small pool, we will find another area up here. Over here, we will find a hidden protector. So the protector actually seems really cool, but unfortunately it's kind of a disappointment, mainly because we're about to get access to an infinite amount of protectors very, very shortly. Over here, however, we will find the Taunt TM. This is actually such a good TM, and I'll talk about why in a little bit later on. However, again, that's kind of going to be later on. So instead, we're going to make our way all the way over here. Right down here, we'll find an Ether, and over here is going to be the entrance to Route 7. Route 7 has even less on it than Route 6 did, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. We can actually find a Quick Ball underneath this tower over here. Then over here, we can find a Dust Ball, and eventually, if we call forth Mew, we can use the Seed Flare to cleanse this water over here, and then surf over it to grab the rare candy. So that's actually pretty cool. And from here, all we have to do is cross this golden bridge to head into Helios City. I see. Finally, you're here. I have some bad news. I went to the Jade Tower to warn the Augur, but there were already cultists there. We need to find another entrance in, and quickly. I wonder if we can get in through the sewers or something. I like the way Damien thinks. Of course, we're going to be heading on through the stinky sewers to get to the Augur. However, before we go on our life-saving mission, I'm going to head into the Pokemon Center. Obviously, I can heal up here, which I kind of need to do. I forgot to do that earlier. However, in here, somewhere, is going to be a lady who is going to tell us to go and buy ourselves something nice before giving us a pearl. And she's going to be very rude about it, unfortunately. But I mean, free stuff is free stuff. Now, if we make our way up here, we'll find another young lady over here. Looks kind of like the rich girl trainer sprite. Ooh, the hair, the clothes, the face. Perfect. You look like exactly the kind of person to appreciate my jewelry. How about this? Why don't you give my ghost gem a shot? Ooh, you look simply splendid with that gem. I don't know how we're wearing it, but apparently we are wearing it. So she will give you a gem depending on the starter you picked. So if you picked Eevee, you will get a normal gem. If you picked the Squirtle line, you'll get a dark gem. If you picked Charmander, you will get a ghost gem. And if you picked Bulbasaur, you would get a psychic gem. That's pretty cool. Man, I knew Helios City was big, but this is ridiculous. What is this, Helios City? I like the way this guy thinks. This is also kind of showing the game's age. At the time, the X and Y games had just come out, and they were sort of the next big thing. And Lumio City was absolutely massive, and you could actually get lost in it. But anyways, if we come over here, we can talk to this trainer, and they will give us the Life Orb, which is absolutely insane. Next up, if we head into this house over here, we can find a very weird trade. This girl here will trade you a Barboach for a Gyarados? That doesn't seem fair. Like I said, it's a very weird trade. Up here, however... Actually, is this the right house? Oh, it is. There is an egg seller, and he is willing to sell us this egg for the usual egg price of 1,500 Pokédollars. However, this egg is actually a why not, so I'm not too interested actually. But if you would like a why not egg, then go ahead and buy it off this man. Next up, I believe the next house is actually right over here. Yeah, this is right. So I believe we want to head upstairs here. There's an escape rope by the bed, which is giving me really bad images. But there's also a fire breather here, and he would like to trade Pokemon. He will trade us his Delta Lotad for any dragon type. So this is actually something that I should have been on. However, if you want an easy dragon type to trade to this guy for the Delta Lotad, what you can do is you can go to the Reside Desert and you can catch a wild Vibrava and trade that to him. I am back. We have the Vibrava. I'm going to go ahead and trade it to him in exchange for the Delta Lotad. Fire Breather Ner. What a name. So he will send over the Psychic Water type Lotad. So let's get a good look at this guy. Named it Timmy X. Bit of a weird name. Obviously, it's going to be the same level as whatever dragon that you trade over to him. So it could have a couple of different really weird abilities here. You can see here that I did get the Synchronize ability, but it could have been Magic Bounce, which could be helpful at some battles. And I'm not really that fond of its moveset. Keep in mind, it's still going to have the same stats as a regular Ludicolo when it fully evolves. So, I don't know, I guess I could use it as some sort of bulky sweeper. That's probably what'll happen to it. either way, we are going to go ahead and move onwards. Over here, we'll find a shady man hiding in these trees. He'll tell us to keep our voice down and ask us if we want in on a secret. And he will give us secret power. That's pretty cool. If we head into the upstairs of this building over here and talk to this man, he will scream at us. He will then ask if he did scare us, and since he didn't, he will give us this TM so that we too can try to frighten other Pokemon. The TM is actually Roar, which is actually kind of a good TM in a way. I mean, it's not the best, but it has its uses. Over here, we actually have Xavier's house. So if you talked around to the NPCs in Vipik City, you will have learned that Xavier doesn't actually live in Vipik City. He lives here in Helios. And if you can kind of see, his house is a mess, there's smoke all over, you can kind of tell what he's been up to. Oh, hey, I see. Remember me? Xavier, the gym leader. I actually live here, believe it or not. Running a gym in Vipik City is just a job, after all. Tell you what, if you get the badge from this city, I'll give you a gift. How does that sound? I don't think he realizes what he's saying here, but he's definitely on. We will most definitely remember that. But we're not done with the city yet. Also, right here is actually the podium that we saw the second Augur talking on in the beginning cutscene of the game, so that's cool. But over here is an old lady, and she will ask us if we have a favorite Pokemon. Hers would be Eevee, and she eventually figured out how to teach Eevee moves outside of its move pool. And if we'd like, she could do the same for us. However, Eevee cannot evolve while it learns these moves. However, these moves are kind of important. So I have an Eevee here. I actually bought it from the game corner just so I could kind of show this off. But from these moves, we have all sorts. We have Flare Blitz, we have Hydro Pump, we have Thunderbolt, Psychic, Foul Play, Leaf Blade, Ice Beam, Moonblast. We should probably be able to sense sort of a theme with these moves, but if you don't, that's fine. We'll be talking about this a little bit later anyways. So I'm just going to teach it this just to kind of show that off. And we're going to continue on by moving into this house right over here. So in this house, we have this artist. This Pokemon is a work of art, but he wants to trade it away, and for a Stunky. So you can find Stunky all over the place. I actually found one in the Vipik dump, I believe, because I was curious. So if you trade it to him for the Smeargle, well, you will just get a Smeargle. It will have Sketch and nothing else, nothing unique, which is kind of disappointing. What isn't disappointing, though, is this Delibird. So this Delibird is holding an item, and it's going to be an ability capsule, which is amazing. I love that Delibird. That Delibird makes it feel like Christmas came early. Anyways, inside of this house, we can also find a free Bonsly. We talked to this kid over here. He loves playing with his Pokemon, but he might have too many, and he can't take care of them all. So if we would like to take care of his Bonsly, it's absolutely free, and he will give it to us. Okay. So we just took his Bonsly away. Although, interestingly enough, even though we took it away, it's still here in the overworld. I kind of wish they did something about that. Anyways, aside from that, we can go ahead and grab this Burn Heal from next to the Jade Tower, and go ahead and grab this Dust Ball. It's also next to it. Again, we can't do anything even if we come inside of the Jade Tower. The cultists are literally right here, and they will tell us that we're in over our head. Sorry, kid. The Jade Tower is closed right now. We're having a little talk with the Augur. Yeah, we can't do anything about them. So that is really unfortunate. However, there's still things that we can do here before we have to find the Augur and save him. I'm sure he'll be fine. He is the Augur, right? So I'm going to go ahead and spray Super Repel. I don't actually know if I can get encounters here, but I just want to do so in case. So there is a trainer over here. I'm going to avoid him. Now, if you talk to this person over here, someone told me that it was hard to see inside this cave. So I thought it'd be smart of me to use the rest of my savings on this TM. But it was useless. Just take it off my hands. I don't want to look at it anymore. So they will give us the TM for Flash, for absolutely nothing. So again, if I could just sneak past this trainer right here. You cannot enter the cave because a Sky Cultist is actually blocking our way. Kinda weird. You know, we as a adventurer could simply journey on to the next city and take on the next gym since we can't get to the gym that's in the J Tower, but the cultists are going to force us to stay in here and mess with them. Either way, we're going to be surfing all the way around the city. You might have seen this, but if not, if you surf all the way around the city, all the way over here, you'll eventually find the TM for Nature Power. And unfortunately, you will have to surf all the way around the city again to get back. After surfing all the way around the city just to get back to the entrance again, we are now going to head into the Helios department store. We've kind of finished sponging off the citizens of Helios City, so it's time to check this out. The department store is absolutely amazing, and I do recommend that you check it out immediately. So this first clerk is going to be nothing special. It's basically generic healing items, and we can buy better stuff later, so don't even waste your money if you're thinking about it. Over here is going to be the Pokeball salesman, or saleswoman, actually, I think. I'm not sure what gender they are. Over here is going to be an incense seller, and I guess they sell the smoke ball too. Most of these are kind of useless. You can use some of them for breeding if you really want to, although I don't think it's necessary. Some of these will actually boost your attacks, like the Sea Incense or the Rose Incense or the Rock Incense. There is also going to be the Luck Incense, which will double your prize money, but don't buy that. Trust me, in this same building, there is going to be something much, much better. Over here is also the hairstylist, but not for you, but for your Furfro. So this was kind of a thing in Generation 6, and they kept that theme going. Your eyes are likely drawn to that Pokeball the moment you enter this floor, and I am really sorry to disappoint you, but you can't get to it. This woman will kind of mock us as she stands there, and there is no way to move her. You're not going to get that Pokeball ever. And if you hack the game and grab that Pokeball, or attempt to, the game will actually laugh at you for hacking. I don't remember what it says, but it's pretty interesting. Fortunately though, this shop is the TM shop, and there's so many good TMs here. So starting from the bottom, we have the Sleep Talk TM. This is actually really good because we have the TM for Rest. We also have the Fling TM. The Fling TM is actually really, really good in this game because here in the department store we can buy all sorts of items. So you constantly have something that you can give to your Pokemon to throw if you really want to use it. We also have the Rock Tomb TM. So this is kind of good utility. You can slow something down if you need to. Frustration isn't that good. We have Return, and we're about to reach a point where we can easily max out our Pokemon's happiness without any kind of trouble. And finally, we have Protect up here. So Protect is actually pretty good. We are going to eventually get Mega Evolutions. And if you don't know, this is a Generation 6 Pokemon hack game, or fan game, which means it uses Generation 6 mechanics. And during Generation 6, Mega Evolutions didn't gain their new speed upon Mega Evolving immediately. They had to wait a turn usually afterwards. So if you have something that's a really super fast Mega Evolution, like Mega Beedrill or something like that, you would want to run Protect on the first turn that you Mega Evolve it. That way you would get your new speed and something else wouldn't outspeed you and knock you out. Over here we also have the Livewire TM. This is actually a new TM, and it's just for Insurgents. So This is actually a new entry hazard. The Livewire is an entry hazard that you can set that gives a chance of paralyzing a Pokemon upon switch in. You can stack it up to 5 times, with each layer adding a 20% chance of that Pokemon being paralyzed when it switches in. So at 5 layers, it's going to be paralyzed, guaranteed. This chance is also doubled with the rain, so if you were to, say, be running some sort of rain team, you could set up like 3 layers, then set up the rain, and again, you have a 100% chance of the incoming Pokemon being paralyzed. However, there is a lot of ways around it, unfortunately. So flying types aren't affected, unfortunately, because it's on the ground. And electric and ground types not only aren't affected, but they will absorb this. Also, Pokemon with the ability Limber or Levitate just won't be affected at all. And I'm sure you can think of some other cases, like, say, if you were holding an air balloon, or you defogged this away. It's just very, very, very niche. It's actually a really cool addition, though, and I will probably try to make use of it at least once. So over here is going to be a very competitive saleswoman, or man. They will be selling the Eevee drinks over here. Unfortunately, this isn't Generation 8, so you can only use a limited amount of them. They also have the Eevee training items. So again, if you use these with the Eevee trainer in your base, you'll get in some serious gains. They also have the Macho Brace, which just isn't as good as any of them. They also have the Eevee Wings, which is pretty good. And finally, here are the Eevee Reducing Berries. Now, these aren't very good for that purpose because we could just use our secret base to wipe out all the Eevees in a single stat for free. However, what these are good for is raising your friendship up. That way you could use something like Return, which is why I don't think Frustration is really that good. And finally, on this floor, we have some very interesting salesmen. So this salesman will sell, salesman or saleswoman, will sell held items, mostly usable items. However, at the bottom we do have the Rocky Helmet. You may also notice that the Amulet Coin is sold here, so I'm going to buy a few. It's sold at 100 Pokédollars too, which is such a bargain when you compare it to that of, say, the Luck Incense, which is sold for like 96 times this. But anyways, we also have things like the eject button, the red card. So the eject button is really good if you're like a weather setter and you don't have like U-turn or something. You could just let something hit you and knock you out. You also have the red card, like I said, and red cards are pretty good for getting rid of something that's set up on you. Or the Flame Orb, you could actually use this with Fling, it's cheap enough. But this is also pretty good for something that might need a Guts boost. You can also buy Focus Sashes for like 200 Pokédollars each, which is, it's just insane. You could also buy the Focus Band for the same amount, and yeah, that would be pointless. There's also the Lagging Tail, not really useful. I guess if you wanted to make something slow enough to use it on a Trick Room team. Quick Claw is, of course, here for Quick Claw shenanigans. And then, of course, we have the Scope Wide and Zoom lenses. These are pretty decent. And finally, we have things like the Expert Belt, the Metronome, both of which will increase your damage over time. Well, the Metronome will actually do that. Expert Belt just increases super effective moves. We have the Absorb Bulb, which I don't really care for. Mainly because you can't use them with like Water Absorb and whatnot. We also have the White Herb, which I'm going to buy a few of these. They're really good for reducing your decreased stats, so I could put them on like Ghetto, and when I use him for... Actually, is Ghetto a him? No, Ghetto's a her. But if I used Shell Smash with this, I would keep my increased speed and increased offensive stats, but I would lose my decreased defenses, at least for one turn. And that would probably allow me to set up another Shell Smash, which would be pretty cool. Over here, we mostly have evolution items, but we do have a few other items like the Cleanse Tag. I think we also have the Soothe Bell, and I think there's a Dragon Fang up here. So these aren't all evolution items. The Nevermelt Ice is a evolution item for Scissor, which I'll be showing off in a little bit though. Or actually Scyther, or both. So starting at the top, we have the Clamperl items, we have the Dragon Fang, we have the Electrolyzer, which is for Electivire. We have the Magnemizer, which is for Magmortar, the King's Rock, which is for Slowking and Politoed, the Protector for Rhyperior, which again, I mentioned earlier, we could buy infinite amounts of these, and we definitely can. Well, we could if I had more money. We have the Razor Fang, which is for Gliscor, or Gliscor. We have the Razor Claw, which is for Weavile. Speaking of which, I never mentioned it, but if you grab that Sneasel from Mythic City, which you can grab by catching a Floet on Route 5 and trading for it, you could evolve that now. We also have the upgrades and the Dubious Disc. So you could have a Porygon Z or a Porygon 2. Prism Scale from Milotic. The Metal Coat, which is for so many things like Scyther and Steelix. And the Dragon Scale for Kingdra, as well as the Reaper Cloth for Dusknoir. Oh, and I guess we do also have the Oval Stone as well. I believe that is for Happiny to Chansey. That would make sense. And finally, we have the Stone Salesman, or woman, again. They also sell Everstone, which is, again, it's actually a breeding tool. What you would do is you would give this to a Pokemon, and it would be guaranteed to pass down its nature. So that's pretty cool. So again, we have the Dawnstone, we have the Duststone, Shiny Stone, Sunstone, Moonstone, all of them. And you can buy as many as you want. So this is actually fantastic. However, where we're headed to is not here in the department store per se, but in the basement of the department store. So if we make our way all the way over here, find a bit of a hole that we can drop down to. Welcome to the Helios Sewers. So our first priority here within the sewers is the fact that we are unfortunately a little bit blind. So we need to get something to light the way. And that something is going to be up here. We're going to be heading up and to the right. And then eventually we'll be heading to the left as soon as we find an opening into this room. From here we will find a flashlight. Really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slap that on one of my registered keys. So that will expand our field of vision just a little bit. Over here, we're going to see a Manatee Statue. Keep that in mind. We may have to backtrack here later. Over here, if we go south, we'll find a Dust Ball. If we make our way all the way up over here and go to the right, we'll find a Great Ball. And if we go to the left of that, we'll find an Elixir. And if we go back down here, we will eventually find a Rare Candy. Also, I just want to mention I made a map for this. I don't actually know this by heart, so I will have that in the description below. Also, I'm going to go ahead and quickly use Seed Flare. That way we can cross that bit of water. Down over here, we're going to find a Great Ball. And if we take this narrow passageway over here, we will find a Dust Ball. And if we go down below it into this passageway, we will find a Tutor. He can teach us Gunk Shot and Acid, both of which are actually pretty cool Tutor moves. So if we make our way all the way to the south, right over here, into the south corner, we can find another pool that was formerly Acid, and we can take the teleporter up here. So if we take the teleporter up here, alright, who is it? We will need Rock Smash And we're also going to need something to push this boulder, so something like bulldoze, something that I don't have right now. But eventually, you will find another sliding puzzle up over here. Again, I'm not going to be concerning myself with these sliding puzzles right now, because if I do them, I will forget to show them off later. So I'm going to have to actually use Seed Flare once again, because we left the area. So from the sliding puzzle, I actually want to make my way up here. Over here, we'll actually find the TM for Cycle. So I mentioned that earlier in the video that we were going to find it, and we have found it now. Over here, we'll also find an escape rope. It's kind of dark to find something like that down here. I'm going to ignore the teleporter pad. And over here, we'll finally find a max revive. And with that, we found every single item here in the Helios Sewers, thankfully. Welcome to the Black Market. If we make our way up over here, we'll encounter Damien. Yo, I see. This Black Market is creepy as heck. I'm glad you found your way down here too. From what I've heard, one of the cults has a hideout in here that leads directly into the Jade Tower. Let's try to sneak through, but we need to hurry. We could get attacked any minute. Alright, but not really. So we are going to explore this place. There's going to be an escape rope down here. Again, I really think about the dark implications of finding those things all over the place. Over here is going to be an Ultra Ball. So over here is a few interesting functions. Right here is going to be the Witch Doctor. And their name is literally Witch Doctor. I have a special powder that allows Pokemon to make contact with another world. I'll let you use it for free if you'd like. So this Witch Doctor can actually be used to evolve Pokemon that need to be traded to evolve. If they need an item, you will have to make sure that they are holding the item though. So I have my Scyther right here. I'm actually going to go ahead and evolve it. Since, oh, right. If you're not holding the item, that is the message that you will get. So that means I need to go ahead and give it the Nevermelt Ice right here. So I will give the Scyther the Nevermelt Ice, and then we will talk to the Witch Doctor again. And Scyther will evolve. So this isn't something you really want to do, because Scyther, or Scizor rather, doesn't really have any added bonuses over Scyther. It is the same exact typing, but it's a lot slower for it now. It does have a slightly higher attack though, which is pretty nice. However, I do want to show off Scizor eventually, so I figured why not evolve it, at least for now. Anyways, this isn't the only thing that we can do down here. Over here we have an interesting man. He is the Move Master. He can create custom moves for us and our Pokemon. They are illegal though, so he had to move down here to continue his business. Since he does not want to get caught, he will only create one move for us at a time. But we can change it and teach it to however many Pokemon we want. It will always be physical and we can't use it online, but that doesn't matter because the online battling system doesn't work anyways. So if we're ready to make our move, we should talk to him. So I'm going to go ahead and let's change the typing. So this could actually be really amazing because you could give something on your team crucial coverage that it may not have. So something I didn't talk about was the fact that I checked up on the people who were talking about what I should evolve this Ralts into, And most people said, well, there's like four or five people that actually mentioned it. And out of the 5 people that mentioned it, 3 said Gardevoir. However, if somebody said Gallade would seriously be lacking in physical ice and electric type coverage. So this would be something to use for that. I could also use it for Crustle as well. Either way though, I will definitely be making use of this. However, I want to make sure that my custom move is always named custom move. That way, whenever I use it, people can kind of tell that I am using a custom move and they're not scratching their heads. However, I'm not going to be using it right now. Finally, over here we have what is known as the hacker. He's a super smart computer hacker. So what he will do is he'll hack our computer's PC system and he will increase the space. For a small fee, of course, but that could be useful much later on, but it's really not that useful to us right now. So instead we'll head over here to the market section of the black market, and they're selling junk. But it's not junk. So over here we can actually buy the skull fossil, or we could buy the armor fossil, which is pretty cool. We could also buy things like energy powders, again pretty cool. Most of these will also have random items like the Ice Heal. The Oval Charm is also pretty nice if you want to breed. And that's about it. You can find the tries for Genesect too. Over here we're going to have the Rock Gem, which is pretty cool. We can actually get the Super Rod for free. I guess this guy just wants to get rid of it. But that also unfortunately means that I do have to show off the Super Rod encounters now. Over here is going to be the energy roots, which is why I mentioned not buying healing items at the department store, because these are just so much cheaper. You can also buy the Thick Club if you have like a Marowak, which you could buy now if you really wanted to. And you can also buy the experience shares, which is really handy. You can do a lot of things with experience shares, like you could actually buy multiples, and you could use them to Eevee train multiple Pokemon at once if you wanted to. I'm just going to buy one. It's not really that big of a deal. The experience share does work exactly like how it did before Generation 6, which is also pretty nice. Over here we also have another seller. So they are selling Moo Milks, which is a really good deal. You will heal 100 HP for 500 Pokédollars. That's really good. There's also the Black Sludge, which is really good for your poison types. It's basically poison type leftovers. You can also buy the King's Rock, as well as the Whip Dream. I don't believe the Whip Dream was actually sold upstairs in the department store, but this is the evolution item for Swirlix. And finally, we have the Light Bulb, so if you're running a Pikachu, you could have doubled stats if you want. And finally, the last salesman. So we have the Big Root, we have the Heal Powder, the Timer Balls, the Chill Drive, again, another drive for Genesect, the Sachet, which is the evolution item for Spritzy into Aromatisse. I don't know why they don't specify, especially when they specify for Swirlix on the other one. And the Stick for Farfetch'd. And that's basically everything here. That was a lot to go over. So over here we have a illegal Pokemon fighting arena. Betting is a huge deal in the black market. It's technically not allowed above ground, so people try and make some cash here. It's not exactly a fight to the faint here, though. Granbull, fight back, dang it. I bet good money on you. Tear him to shreds. I can only imagine how that poor Mariana is doing, considering Granbull is now a fairy type. Anyways, in here is something of note. I'm going to go ahead and save right here. You might want to save as well. So I actually had to go back and grab my regular team because I still had the Eevee and I think the Delta Lotad. So this is going to be the team that I'm going in here with. So Ambipom is back here as Destiny Bond now. So if I need to take something out in a pinch, Ambipom is going to come in clutch. Ghetto is now holding one of its white herbs, so we could have herbs and cake. And nobody else has really changed. Ralts over here is going to be holding the experience share because I'm not really in any hurry to get a Delta Gardevoir. I wouldn't really be in any hurry to get a Delta Glade either. Nobody else has really changed. Lexire over here is just kind of happy to be here. He's happy we haven't forgotten about him. So I'm going to do another safety save, and we're going to go ahead and move forward into this room. Who's there? This area is off limits. Oh, it's you. I see. You were the kid from the sun-touched gym, weren't you? What do you want? Are you here to avenge your gym leader friend? Get out of here now, you... Taen, hold on a minute. Sir? I suppose you two don't remember me, huh? My name is Rukra. I'm the leader of the Perfection Cult. We've met each other in Telnord Town, back in Sylvan's lab. Remember the Delta species Pokemon I offered you? I'm glad you chose to travel with one. Every Pokemon deserves to adventure with a trainer. You are on private property. I'm forced to ask you to leave. We are busy right now, and we really can't be distracted. I don't care much for you two myself, and if I had it my way, I'd get rid of you two immediately. As a favor to my old colleague, Professor Sylvan, I'd rather do this the easy way. Well, we don't really want to interfere with anything. We just want to get through. We heard there was a way to get into the Jade Tower from here. We need to see the Augur. And why would you two want to do that? Because the Sky Cult is coming for him. He's in big trouble. Is he now? Tell me, why should I help save him? I'm a cultist, Damien. More than that, I'm a cult leader. Jarn's been after me for ages. Why wouldn't I want him out of the way? I don't know. I just thought you would... Actually, I take that back. Let's strike a deal. I have a little project you can help with. To be honest, we're not really a cult. There are legendary Pokemon we'd like, certainly, but none that we worship. Our group was founded in the pursuit of a single goal: perfection. A truly perfect Pokemon. One that is undefeatable, inconquerable. One with no counters, and no move or strategy can stop. All of our plans have been centered around this vision. Delta Pokemon. We thought certain Pokemon might be stronger with different types, different moves. Now we're trying something else. In the Kalos region, a new battle technique was discovered. It's become common practice now, but how it works is still a mystery to scientists today. This is called Mega Evolution. We need to understand it completely. That way, we can use it for our own purposes. Taen has a Pokemon with a Mega Stone on his team right now. We want data. If you battle against Taen, we can analyze how well his Mega Evolution does in battle, and how it can be improved. Fight Taen, and we'll let you pass through. You're right. You can get into the Jade Tower from here. Oh, but Rukra, we don't have time. What if the sky... Don't worry. We'll make this fast. I see. Show me what you've got. And we are going to be battling Taen. So the bow-cut-headed man will send out his Kyurem, which we already kind of knew that he had. This theme is a total bop though. So starting with the Kyurem, it definitely has the pressure ability, no item though, and it will have Ice Beam / Dragon Breath and Scary Face. They really tried to hold back on this one. So I could knock it out with Destiny Bond, or I could just go ahead and Memento. And since I would like to set up on this, I'm going to go ahead and Memento, just to drop its stats right here. From there, I will be sending out Ghetto. And we are going to Shell Smash. You might also notice that I actually replaced one of its moves, Facade, with Return. I kind of forgot to mention that. Also made a stop in the department store. I gave it a few of those Eevee reducing berries, mainly to max out its happiness. Didn't take much. So I'm going to take that Ice Beam really nicely. Wow. So I'll Shell Smash once. I don't know if I want to do it twice actually. At least not on Kyurem. I'll be fine probably. Yeah, I'll go for 2. Alright, that was totally worth it. So I'm just going to go ahead and play rough. Very clean. And lots of easy experience for Ralts as well. Actually, I'll learn that. That could be helpful later on. Next up, he is going to send out Pyro. It could have either ability, and I think it could either be male or female as well. It will have Flamethrower, Crunch, Echoed Voice, and Endeavor. Thankfully, we have Return here for Stab, so a max-powered Return is just going to destroy that. And next up is going to be Stunfisk. So this is a very, very majestic Stunfisk. It could have Static or it could have Limber, but it is holding the Stunfiskite. That's right, Stunfisk has a custom Mega Evolution here in Insurgence. So its ability will turn into one called Antheum. Antheum is essentially huge power, but for special attack. It doubles its special attack stat. It has Thunderbolt, Bounce, Muddy Water, and Endure, which, again, it's absolutely insane. I think Return's stronger than Play Rough, so I'll probably go for the Return. It's actually very, very bulky as well. And a little bit terrifying. And it missed the Muddy Water. I might have actually lost Ghetto right there, if that Muddy Water hit. I don't know why it just didn't Thunderbolt me. And finally, he is going to have a Grumpig. So Grumpig could have Thick Fat, it could have Own Tempo, no item, Psyshock, Teeter Dance, Rest, and Snore. I'm just going to go for the Return and knock this thing out. Very, very easy. And no, you don't need to learn Ice Shard. Also, something I want to mention about Mega Evolutions is even the custom Mega Evolutions in Insurgence tend to follow the same rules as Megas typically do, which is Megas tend to gain 100 stats, extra stat points. Sometimes it seems like they gain more, but they have to lose stat points somewhere just to make up for it. So Ralts is going to evolve here, that's fine. Go ahead, evolve on screen. Thank you very much, Icy. You may pass. The entrance to the Jade Tower is just up the stairs. You know what? Take one of these too. This device allows you to Mega Evolve Pokemon. It's directly connected to our computers. All battles you do will be recorded and sent to us. Don't worry, we're not spying on you. We only want data on Mega Evolution. Wow, Rukra. Thank you. Don't get used to it. I'm not doing this for you. Now get going. I thought you were in a hurry. I see. Let's go. You heard him. It's up the stairs. I like how you can kind of annoy them. And he actually threatens us, too. Get lost. We're busy. Don't make me want to kill you more than I already do. That's kind of unfortunate. Anyways, we can't really open this up right here. It requires a key, and we don't have that. However, before we go all the way over here and enter the Jade Tower again, we want to come into this room and grab this item. So, this will be one of 3 items. It could be or actually it's one of 4 items. So it could be the Delta Megastone for your Delta starter, or it could be the Eevee height. That doesn't sound right. So there is going to be Megastones for all of the starters. Oh yeah, it would be held in the Megastone section. Kind of forgot this exists. So I will be using Mega Delta Charizard, which is amazing. And Charizard actually only has 1 Mega form in this game. Well, the Delta version does. Which is actually pretty fair. I think it is finally time to talk about these Megas. I've been holding out on this information for so long, and I'm finally ready to talk about it. So, Delta Mega Venusaur becomes a lot bulkier in comparison to its usual form. But not only that, but it gains a different ability called Hubris. I believe I'm saying that right. Hubris is essentially special attacking Moxie. So anytime Mega Delta Venusaur knocks another Pokemon out, it will get a special attack increase. So Delta Mega Venusaur is really, really amazing. It has a good chance of setting up with Calm Mind and Leech Seed, and then either draining Kissing things to recover its HP while knocking them out and getting those special attack boosts, or using things like Psychic and Moonblast. It's absolutely amazing. Delta Mega Blastoise is actually really, really similar to the original Mega Blastoise. It gets Mega Launcher as its ability, which is actually pretty cool. And it gets mostly the same stats as well. So it's not extremely fast, but it does have very, very high special attack and pretty decent defenses too. And it should also have Aura Spear as well as Dark Pulse, especially at this point in the game, and both of those are stabs for it, or as I should spell it out, same type attack bonus, and both of those get boosted by Mega Launcher. So finally, this is the moment you've been waiting for if you chose Delta Blastoise. And to round out the Delta starters, we have Delta Mega Charizard. So Delta Mega Charizard gets an ability called Noctum, and Noctum will summon the New Moon Field, essentially naturally, without you actually having to use the New Moon effect. Or rather, maybe I should say that it summons darkness. But there's a lot of cool things for this field. So you could use Mega Charizard as a Delta Charizard as a setter, or you could use it for things like sweeping. This field boosts Ghost and Dark type attacks, which is fantastic for Mega Delta Charizard as well. It also turns Shadow and Phantom Force into one-turn attacks, so you could potentially run a physical Zard set eventually. Unfortunately, right now we just haven't gotten to the move yet. And there's a lot of other things that we can do with this, so it's pretty good overall. Also, something to note, and this is a minor detail, but the Dust Ball's catch rate modifier is actually activated if the New Moon Field is out. So if you have a Delta Mega Charizard, you could use that to basically spam Dust Balls on anything and everything, which is really cool. But finally, besides the Delta starters, we also have Mega Eevee. Mega Eevee has a move called, or rather an ability called Protein Maxima. So essentially what you would do is you would make sure that your Eevee has all of those special move tutor attacks that I showed off earlier. And whenever Mega Eevee uses any of those moves, it will transform into that respective evolution of that typing, which is honestly really cool. So for instance, if you used Thunderbolt with Mega Eevee, you would turn into Jolteon. If you used like Hydro Pump, you would turn into Vaporeon, things like that. But not only that, but you would also gain that evolution's ability. So for some of these, like Water Absorb, Volt Absorb, Flash Fire, you would gain immunities, or if you transformed into Umbreon or Sylveon, you would also gain immunities there. And besides that, you also gain their stats, which is just amazing. So if you transform into Jolteon, suddenly you're super fast. If you transform into Sylveon or Vaporeon, suddenly you're very, very bulky. Or Umbreon even. Or if you transformed into Leafeon, you could abuse Sun. Mega Eevee is absolutely amazing. There are so many things that you could do with it. You could play mind games with it by transforming into type immunities, things like that. It's just really amazing. However, we do have our Delta Charizard right here. And we are going to be heading up here into the Jade Tower. So here's the bad news. Unfortunately, we have these grunts over here, and we can't get past them. However, if I turn off my speed up, we can actually sneak past most of these grunts over here and head straight for the stairs. This is actually a really good thing to do, because if we head over here to the stairs, and sort of towards the end, we'll find not just a PC, but a Chansey. And Chansey will heal our Pokemon for us. So I still kind of recommend taking on those Sky Cultists if you want. They're good experience, and they will also give you some money. You could always use the amulet coin on them and mug them for even more cash. If you want, you could use this as a place to prepare while you take on all the Sky Cultists if you would like. Or you could just use this as a healing base, rearrange your party, whatever you want. But either way, I think we've made it to a fantastic stopping point. We've covered all of Helios City, we covered the department store, the black market even, and now we are here in Jade Tower, ready to save the Augur. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope it helps, and I will most definitely catch you all on the next one. Peace.